Okay, my functional fitness elite, welcome back. It is now week 5. You have crushed the first phase of the functional fitness program, and we are moving on to phase 2. So some changes now. If you remember, in the entire last phase, we did 7 exercises, and we stayed with each exercise and kind of moved down the list of exercises 1 through 7, built up to 3 rounds, going 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off, and moving at a pretty quick pace through that whole list of 7. Phase 2 will change just a little bit, so we only have 5 exercises. We'll go a few more rounds through those 5 exercises, and then we're going to do what we call superset. So our first 2 exercises we'll bounce back and forth between those 2. That's what a superset means. So we term that A1 and A2, and then our final 3 exercises we'll perform in a little circuit, okay? So it'll be kind of like a B1, B2, B3. So we will shorten the work period. So the goal is to get about 10 repetitions in about 20 seconds, okay? And then you're gonna take a little bit more rest time between A1 and A2 exercises. So it'll be about 20 seconds of work and about 40 seconds of rest. So the idea is because you don't have to work quite as long and the reps are lower, maybe you can go up a little bit in weight. And what I'm going to do is some of our fundamental exercises, for instance, the deadlift, pull-ups, horizontal pressing exercise like push-ups or bench press, as well as our squat patterns. I'm going to show you some different ways to progress those in A day, B day, and C day. So you kind of expect that. You don't have to do all the different exercises. It's just an example of some different ways that you can kind of increase the load on the body, because you guys have crushed the last phase. And we are ready to do a little bit more work. We should be conditioned for it, and our body is prepared. So you got to keep kind of pushing the envelope in order to keep things progressing. That's what we want. We want to continually stress the body at a higher level to keep it changing and moving in the direction that we want to go, okay? So without further ado, I also changed up the warm-up routine just a little bit. So if you'd like to skip through that, each one on A day, B day, and C day take about anywhere from 10 to 13 minutes. So if you want to skip through that, you've done your own thing, great. But this is an excellent kind of movement prep routine. It'll really help you feel good. It'll help make this phase more sustainable because the pattern's a little bit more tight with what we're going to be doing repetitively day after day. So really encourage you to try it at least once. If you hate it, skip it. If you love it, let's do it together every day before you work out. Okay, it'll be worth it. So let's get going. All right, so first movement is going to be on our back on A day, okay? We're going to, let me get going here. So we're going to lie down on our back. We're going to do what's called an active isolated hamstring stretch, okay? Of these kind of prep movements, we're going to do 10 of them, about 5 to 10 repetitions on each movement, okay? So on active isolated hamstring stretch, I'm going to hug my knee up to my chest. I'm going to extend and flex the knee joint to the point where I get a good uncomfortable stretch in that hamstring, okay? Thinking about pushing that heel to the ceiling. Excuse me. So I'm looking for about 10 repetitions each leg with an active isolated hamstring stretch, okay? Make sure that your down leg is all the way straight with the toe pointed straight to the ceiling. It really helps to pull the belly button in. That kind of neutrally aligns the spine of the pelvis. All right, so the next one, I'm gonna do a lying T-spine mobility exercise, okay? So you're gonna cross that right leg over midline after pulling the knee up to the waistband, and then you're going to open the chest and try to lay your shoulders and that whole arm flat to the floor, okay? Really use that left arm to keep that right knee close to the floor and make sure it stays above the waistband. Okay, 10 repetitions on the right side. And then we'll switch. So we'll bring that left knee up to the chest, cross that left knee over midline, and now we'll do 10 repetitions on the left. If you're a right-hander, you'll probably notice that you're a little bit more tight rotating to your left. That's just kind of a natural thing for our bodies. So you can really get a few more reps on the left side if you find that helps you over time. That's what I typically do. I do, usually like 15 to 20 repetitions on my left side because it helps me kind of be a little bit more balanced out. All right, so after the thoracic mobility exercise, we're going to kind of kick it up a notch. We're going to load those same muscles that we just kind of mobilized, okay? So we're going to do what we call a wiper. You're going to try to lie on your back. You're going to try to assume a T position with the upper body, okay? So you're actively pressing your arms into the floor, keeping your shoulders flat. You can do straight to the hardest level by trying to keep your legs as straight as possible, like what you see there. Or if that's far too difficult, you just bend your knees about 90 degrees. But the key is you want to keep that upper leg, those thighs, about 90 degrees to the torso, all right? You're rotating, you kind of see that line on my platform that I'm rotating straight side to side on that platform there, okay? I'm not letting my legs drop down anymore. Straight in that transverse plane, okay? Gonna go 10 each side with the wipers. It's gonna burn a little bit, that's okay. We're getting most of our core work and all of our other kind of little things that we're doing in the beginning of phase 2. So really take some time and maximize this movement prep time. All right. Tough one. Great job. Okay, so next one, we're gonna move to some glute bridges, okay? Glute bridges. So the key with this one, we're gonna go 20 of these. Key with this one is try to draw that belly in, exhale as you squeeze the glutes, tuck that tailbone underneath, and drive the hips to the ceiling, okay? You have to push through the heel parts of your shoe. If you ever lose contact with that heel, you're not gonna be activating those backside muscles. That is absolutely what we're after, okay? Exhaling draws that diaphragm up, the pelvic floor follows. That kind of engages all those deepest muscles of the core that you really want to get after there. And it keeps the spine neutral. A lot of people have a really bad habit of overextending. They hyperextend the spine. They don't get as much motion at the hips. You want to be able to extend at the hips, okay? After the glute bridges, we got 20 reps there. Okay, we're going to roll over on our stomach. We're going to do swimmers. Okay, 20 repetitions here too. So we mobilize the shoulders, we mobilize the upper spine, and now we're gonna activate all those muscles between the shoulder blades, all right? So remember, as you line the stomach, keep your spine neutral, which means you gotta keep your face parallel to the floor. Try to tuck the chin back, don't look up in front of you, okay? You're gonna try to raise your hands as high as you can to the ceiling, up off the tailbone, all the way out and around, full range of motion, okay? If you get any type of pinching in the shoulders, just cut the range of motion a little bit short. That's okay, we'll work up to it. And you'll notice as I kind of cross that shoulder level, that T, that capital T position, I'm trying to roll my thumbs up to the ceiling, okay? Make sure with this one, you also keep the belly button pulled in tight. It may be a little bit uncomfortable if lying on your belly is not a thing that you're used to, but just stick with it. It'll get better over time. Okay, make sure you get your 20. You want that burn between the shoulder blades that gets those things activated. Nice job. Okay, next we're gonna move on to some planks. Okay, so the first variation is we're gonna do a prone plank, okay? Which means elbows and knees or elbows and toes, okay? To make this easier, you can always bring the knees down on the floor. A little harder than what I'm showing right there is you would kind of march your hands or your feet in place. The key is to pull the belly button tight, keep the ribs down, make sure that you're breathing easy while maintaining that neutral posture. Okay, about 30 seconds. Excellent job. Now we're gonna roll on to the sides. We're gonna go side plank. I'm going my right elbow first. Okay, remember key principles from phase 1. Obviously, straight long line from the ear to the ankle, keeping the posture neutral by pulling the ribs down and in, pulling the belly button in, keep the glutes squeezed. Stack all your joints. So shoulder over the elbow, shoulder over the other shoulder, hip over hip, knee over knee, ankle over ankle. That's a perfect way to do a plank right there. If this is hard on your shoulder, you can always shorten the plank or elevate the body that puts a little bit less pressure than just being on the floor, okay? And now we're gonna move on to the other side. All right, 30 more seconds here. We're just gonna go one round with the planks. It's kind of a great way to get those core muscles activated. Sitting all day, that's what most of us do. Unless you have an amazing opportunity to work more of a manual job where you're up moving around. All those key muscles, the abdominal muscles, the glute muscles, the ones between the shoulder blades, the ones that stabilize the shoulders, they all kind of shut down from those poor positions we find ourselves in all day long. So this will help kind of prep our body to get going. Okay, now we're gonna go the world's greatest stretch. This is a 3-part movement. We're gonna come out of a push-up position. So you're gonna bring your left foot up by your left hand, okay? So the first part is to drop the same elbow, so the left elbow drops to the floor. The left arm reaches to the ceiling. And then you push the hips up and backwards, trying to create a triangle between your legs and the floor, okay? So it's a 3-part movement. Down, dropping the elbow down, trying to get closer to the floor right next to that instep of that left foot. Reaching the arm up as you rotate. Make sure you follow your hand with your eyes and then rock the hips up and back. That'll get a great hamstring stretch. Also helps to pull your toe up on that left side, okay? We are just going to do 5 of these, and now we're gonna switch to the other side. So you'll also notice I'm trying to keep now with my right leg in front, I'm trying to keep my left leg all the way straight, okay? Trying to create a straight, long line from my ear through my ankle. Not doing a great job of it on the left side. I need to work a little bit more of that hip mobility. But same movement pattern here, okay? So elbow drops down, right arm reaches up, follow the hand with your eyes, and then rock the hips up and backwards as you straighten the knee and pull the toe up. 5 repetitions here. All right, now we're gonna go back to that push-up position. We're gonna go some downward dogs, okay? We're just gonna roll from a push-up position into a downward dog. Okay, this is a great way to kind of activate all the muscles stabilizing those shoulder blades, especially the ones that kind of wrap around the rib cage and attach to the shoulder blade on the front side of it, okay? This is also great for kind of loosening up all that tissue, all that fascia on the back side of the body. So as you push up and back, try to keep that belly button drawn in, keep the back fairly flat like you're doing a hip hinge, and push those hips up and back to the ceiling. Should feel a great stretch all the way from the heels, maybe even up to the back of your head, depending on how hard you're pushing it, okay? We'll go 10 repetitions here, trying to push strong into the floor with your hands. All right, after those downward dogs, we're gonna go what we call hip pop-ups. So we're gonna grab our toes, getting a great hamstring stretch, and we're gonna try to drop our hips down as close as we can to our heels, trying to push our elbows inside of our knees, okay? As you drop the hips down to the floor, try to pull that chest up nice and tall, flatten the back. What we call a Saigon Squat position, okay? This is a great deep squat, helps mobilize hips, knees, and ankles, okay? So ideally, most of us human beings, depending on our injury history with our joints, should be able to achieve a deep squat position at least in a body weight condition, okay? So if you can't, maybe we need to work on some ankle mobility, some hip mobility. You don't necessarily need to load the pattern, but it is ideal to be able to achieve this over time, okay? So 10 repetitions of the hip pop-ups. Last movement before we get going. Okay, we're gonna do a quad stretch. Feel free to grab onto an object if you want to stabilize yourself and improve your ability to get that stretch a little bit. If you'd rather not hang on to anything, you can really challenge that balance. But once you get that quad stretch, you can try to tip over, create a straight long line from your wrist all the way through your ankle, okay? Trying to get your whole upper body flat to the floor as possible. You also notice as I'm standing on my right leg, that knee is a little bit bent, okay? That helps kind of activate those glute muscles on that right side a little bit more, okay? Also, key point, it's hard to see in this position, but you want to laterally shift your weight so your midline, your belly button, is more or less over your foot in that frontal plane. Okay, it's gonna really help kind of load that hip, keep that great stability as you tip over. This is a great way to display balance, okay? So being able to control the full range of motion at the hip while you balance, that is stability right there, okay? 10 repetitions on that side, so now we're switching to the other. Great quad stretch. Trying to pull the heel to the butt cheek there. Create a straight long line from the knee to the ear and then extending. Trying to display that great balance as you reach as far as you can with the arms and as far back as you can with that heel. Okay, you should probably feel it stretch in the hamstring a little bit as you tip over. Remember, really maintain that balance by centering that belly button right over that foot, that base of support. About 10 repetitions here. Remember, pulling the belly button in, lightly squeezing the glutes, being mindful of where your center is. That will all help to improve your balance. And those same principles apply for any balance exercise. So that's just a key learning point right there. And learn to be aware of where your center is at and balance it over that base. It's a great tool for fall prevention too if you're a little older. All right. Okay, so we are going to start with our workout routine, okay? So today's workout, A1 and A2, is deadlifts and dumbbell lateral raises, okay? So we're gonna get going now. Okay, so you'll notice the first variation that I'm doing right here is a band version. So even if you don't have any weights whatsoever, you can use a band. This is actually pretty challenging. This is probably similar to having anywhere from 30 to 50 pound weights, okay? So you just stand on the band about shoulder width, keep that band pinned to the floor, and then you'll hold on to each side of the loop and then stand up with it. So 10 repetitions there. Now you're gonna rest for 40 seconds, okay? So resting for 40 seconds is going to give you a little bit more time to recover so you can give more effort during the work period, okay? So with the dumbbell lateral raise, make sure that you're standing nice and tall with tall posture and trying to raise those dumbbells with arms fairly straight to about a T position, okay? So 10 repetitions there. Trying to have a kind of a controlled tempo up and down, about 1 count up, 1 count down. That should keep us pretty close to about 10 reps in that time frame. If you go a little faster, that's okay. That just means you get a little bit more rest before the next round. Okay, so that's round number 1. It's probably gonna feel pretty easy right now, but as the rounds stack up, as the sets stack up, it's gonna be a little bit more challenging, okay? So the next version with the deadlift is that dumbbell or kettlebell deadlift. All right, that's what we did all last phase. So this should be pretty familiar with you guys. Just remember that you want to maintain that neutral spine, just like any great hip hinging exercise. All right, here we go. 4, 3, 2, 1, and go time. All right, so picking that kettlebell or dumbbell off the ground, make sure you're letting that thing tap right between those feet. There we go. Very nice. A couple more seconds, 2, 1, and done. Good work. Okay. All right, so you get to rest a little bit more. What I'm going to do with these different examples of exercises, I'm going to slowly increase the complexity and the load of each one. All right. So what you see me doing right there is I'm going to take that band we used for round number 1 for the band deadlift. Okay. I'm looping the ends in a crosswise fashion around the end of the dumbbell. Okay. So that band is locked on to the end of the bell. You can do the same thing with the kettlebell. And what I'm going to do on the next round is I'm going to stand on that band and add a little bit more load to that dumbbell. Okay. All right, so dumbbell lateral raises. Here we go, round 2. The shoulders are going to be extra strong after this phase. Nothing will be able to get those things burning and hurting after this month. There we go. Remember, trying to keep the ribs down. It helps to really exhale as you raise those dumbbells up. Round 2 down. Here we go, round 3 coming up. All right, about 20 seconds. So you're probably not breathing quite that heavy yet. That's okay. Just stick with it. It's okay for right now. It's going to really stack up towards the end. Stick with me here. All right, here we go. 5 seconds. So what you do is you stand on that band, about shoulder width again. All right, lock the back end nice and tight. And now you're stretching that band in addition to the weight of the dumbbell. Okay, so even if you only have one set of dumbbells in a band, you can get a lot of work done. Still want to get 10 repetitions. You're probably going to have to really grip that dumbbell hard because that thing just increased by at least 30 pounds. Pretty good job. That can be a very challenging exercise right there. One key pointer with if you have some good bands, man, that's a great piece to travel with. If you have to travel for work or ever be away from your typical home gym, bring some bands with you, and you just quadrupled your ability to do some really functional training in just about any gym space or any hotel room, basically anywhere that you're staying. All right, here we go. Round number 3, lateral dumbbell raises. Here we go. All right, folks, raising those dumbbells up. Make sure you're getting them about up to shoulder height, keeping the elbows fairly straight, trying to keep the ribs down, weights evenly distributed on both feet. Okay, so we've worked our way up. Oh, there goes my dumbbells. That's why I built those platforms in my garage. If you routinely work out in your garage, just keep in mind that the floor is sloped. So if you're standing sideways through the slope, you're putting some pressure on your hips and joints in a little bit of an asymmetrical fashion. So you might want to stand facing downhill, uphill. Otherwise, it's going to result in some back pain over time. Okay. So this is a barbell version of a deadlift. All right. If you've gotten pretty advanced to the point that you can use a barbell or have access to it, it's another great alternative to that hinging or that deadlifting motion. Okay, so the key point is you want to keep the bar very close to your body. It's going to be out in front just a little bit because you have to move that bar around your legs and the knees. But other than that, the principles don't change. You still have a great flat back. Hips slide backwards. They translate backwards as you stand up with the weight. Make sure you exhale, pull the belly in, drive those hips forward, squeeze in the glutes. The last version of the deadlift that we'll show you is a trap bar, also another excellent way to kind of change up that hinging motion and also enable yourself to move just a little bit more load. Yeah, so typically with a shoulder width stance, we go round 4 with the dumbbell lateral raises. With a shoulder width stance, if you're standing sideways on a slanted garage floor, one of your feet can be up to a 1/4 inch lower than the other one. And that can make a huge difference over time. So really kind of be mindful about where you're placing your feet anytime that you're training, especially if you're loading your body heavily with squats or deadlifts. Okay, here we go. Round 5 coming up. we will have our deadlifts, our trap bar deadlifts. So what's really cool about a trap bar is it changes where the center of the mass is. So rather than being out in front of your body, like a barbell, it moves it more right towards the center. So it's kind of like a blend between a barbell and a kettlebell. So typically you can move a little bit more weight because it's centered up right over the foot instead of in front of it, and allows you to keep the torso just a little bit more upright. So really great tool to have if you have a little bit of extra money to spend on a specialty bar like that. Typically, if you get one from a reputable equipment manufacturer, they don't cost much more than $150. And you can load those things up pretty dang heavy. So still 10 repetitions there, no matter what way you choose to do a deadlift or what load that you use, okay? Making sure that you're controlling the load to make sure that you get 10 reps in that 20-second time frame, okay? All right, so we have one more round of T raises. You're probably breathing a little bit more heavily now. That's great. That's exactly what we want. So we're actually getting kind of a cardiovascular challenge effect out of this strength training because we're doing it in kind of like an interval fashion. And then we're giving ourselves enough rest time to move just a little bit more of a load, which will force the body to change and adapt in a slightly different way than what we did last week. So progressing over time. Last round of lateral raises. Here it is. Excellent job. Okay, 10 more seconds. Make sure you're about 5 reps in there. Nice. 3, 2, 1, and time. Nice work. Okay, get about a 40-second break, and then we're going to move on to this second part of the workout. Okay, so now we have 3 exercises. You still have 20 seconds to work. Still trying to get about 10 repetitions in that 20-second period. Okay, our 3 exercises is a pistol squat to bench, much like last phase. We're going to do a lat pull down or a pull up. I'm going to show you some ways to progress up to that. And we're going to do a different version of a calf raise that we call a wall push calf raise. Okay, it doesn't need any specialized equipment. All you need is a wall. All right, so here we go. We're going to do those pistol squats. So if you have a good solid chair, a bench to sit down on, trying to get great squat technique. So flexing the knee and the ankle and the hip all at the same time as you lower your center of gravity down to the bench. Having great balance. Remember, you have to put that midline right over the foot. Still trying to get 10 reps. It's going to get that heart rate up a little bit. That's okay. That's exactly what we want. Excellent job. There we go. Great work, guys. Nice. I'm trying to keep the torso neutral still. Remember, ribs down. That's it. Get those 10. Nice job. Okay. So first round with the pull downs. I'm just going to go the regular band pull down that we used all last phase. Okay. So if you have a door frame, an anchor point that you can put up over that door frame, or whatever. Anything like a pull-up bar is excellent. Those door frame mounted pull-up bars are a great piece to have in your own home. It's always good for the kids to be able to walk by that thing and, you know, try to jump in there and get a pull-up all the time. It's good for them. All you gotta do is loop that band up and over that thing and pull it down, trying to get 10 reps. Okay, and then the third exercise that we'll do is the wall push calf raise. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna lean forward up against the wall, okay, or any solid object. You wanna try to get your body angled at about 45 degrees to the ground, and then one leg at a time, you're gonna raise the whole body up 10 times, okay? Remember, the same principles apply, trying to keep the rear foot neutral. Don't let it roll too much to the outside, trying to push through the ball of the foot and the big toe, okay? What you'll notice what I'm doing right there is I'm keeping kind of like a sprinter's position. If you're an avid runner, if you would love to be an avid runner, this is a great kind of position to practice. Keeping a straight long line from your ankle all the way up through your ear, pulling that knee up in front as if you were accelerating or moving forward, running or sprinting. Okay, so all the way up and down, make sure you're trying to get that heel close to the floor as you lower yourself down, that gives you that strength gain to the full range of motion with that calf raise. Improves the integrity of that Achilles tendon, and improves ankle mobility. So there's a lot of great things you can do just with that calf raise. All right, round number 2. Heart rate's probably not up too high yet. That's okay, it's coming. Back to those pistol squats. There it is. You're gonna get a lot of opportunity to work on that balance. Really trying to squeeze, activate those quad, hamstring, and glute muscles. That's it. Great focus. 10 reps. Nice job. Better than 15 from the last phase, right? Okay. Excellent work. Nice job, guys. That's about halfway there. Keep on going, about 5 more seconds. Should be finishing up. It's okay to bleed over a little bit. Just get less rest time. All right. Okay. Now with that band, if you have a pull-up bar, this is the way you can progress up into doing pull-ups. So you take your band, you would stretch it down. You're going to put it underneath your foot. Okay, it's going to take some good core strength and some upper body strength to get that thing down there. If you need a partner, go ahead and use that. All right, so what that band is going to do is going to kind of slingshot you upward. It's reducing some of the body weight that you have to move to pull yourself upward. So it's a great kind of transitional piece to help you learn to do pull-ups and build the strength necessary to get those repetitions. So the band under the foot, I'm going to show you how to kind of progress it, make it a little bit more difficult as we move along in the next round. That's pretty good right there. A lot of people are really excited just to be able to get that chin above the bar, as that's been a challenging thing for their entire life. Okay? Round number 2, wall push calf raise. Okay. Excellent, excellent, excellent. A lot of great forward lean. Forward lean, pushing up as high as you can go. Big toe ball of foot. Rear foot's neutral. Really squeeze that calf muscle. There you go. Maintain the posture. Belly button stays pulled in. 10 reps. Then we'll switch quickly to the other side. 10 more reps. This will also, if you struggle from plantar fasciitis, this will also help to relieve some of that and strengthen up some of that tissue on the bottom side of the foot, okay? One way that you can also kind of regress this movement a little bit is just to do an isometric. Just put pressure on the ball of that foot, hold the heel off the ground a little bit, and just hold that isometric. A lot of times that will really help improve the symptoms of any type of plantar fasciitis as you load that tissue over time. All right, here we go. Round 3, pistol squats. Heart rate's coming up a little bit. You are tougher than the exercise, though. I believe in you. There we go. Nice work. Always trying to get those 10. It's not a huge deal if you can't get those 10 reps. You're still putting in great work. We're going to actually be doing this same routine for the next 4 weeks. Okay, we'll just alter which days A, B, and C day go on. So you're gonna get very, very, very good at this stuff, and you're gonna your body's gonna adapt to it. You're gonna be very surprised on how good you'll feel and how much stronger, how much more functional you are at the end of this phase. Almost there. Trying to get those 10. Great work. Okay, so the next progression with the pull-up would be to just put the band under a knee, okay? So that's going to stretch the band less, resulting in less assistance pulling up. So it's going to make it a little bit more difficult, okay? Still trying to get full range of motion, all the way down, all the way up. Still trying to get 10 reps, but this is a little bit more challenging version. Some people absolutely need the band to be able to get 10 reps. That's okay. You'll build that strength over time. All right. Whew! Round 3, done with those pull-ups. Only a couple more. I'm getting rid of the band now. I do not need it for the rest of the workout. I'm going to show you what we're going to do for the next couple rounds. Remember, you can always stick with any of these options. I'm just trying to demonstrate some different ways that you can make the exercises in this phase a little bit harder if you found that some of your training has become too easy. All right, wall push calf raise. Really focusing on driving through the right part of the foot there. As you get tired, you're going to want to compensate out of it. Do not allow your body to do that. You got this. That's it. Really pushing into the wall. Strong shoulders. 10 more seconds. Trying to get about 5 more reps. Good. Really push. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Yeah, buddy. We are almost there. Just 2 more rounds. Keep sticking with it. That burn, that breath rate, the heart rate, it's all increasing right now. Remember, this is a great opportunity to keep practicing those focus and mental toughness skills. Use your self-talk to your advantage. There we go. Really focus on the technique. Don't compromise alignment to get reps. Okay, if you only get 4 or 5 reps, that's okay. Just try to make the movement as perfect as possible. Almost there. Here we go. Nice. Okay, right to the other side. 2, 1, and go. That's it. Nice work, folks. Keep it up, keep it up, keep it up. Trying to get those 10. It's okay if you don't, though. Remember, solid foot. Not let that knee collapse inside. Keeping that belly button right over that foot. And nice job. All right, there's 10. Okay, so the next harder version of a pull-up is actually a chin-up. So you notice my hands have been facing away from my body for these first 3. A chin-up actually brings your bicep muscle into a little bit more advantageous line of pull, so it gives those arm muscles the ability to assist you a little bit more, okay? So that'd be kind of like the next progression of pulling up to the bar, is giving your arms the maximum amount of advantage to get yourself up there, okay? So also if you're trying to build those bicep muscles, this will hit those things a little bit harder. So if that's what you want out of this, then you can really work those chin-ups. Remember, that's palm is facing you. The chin-ups, you can work those a little bit harder, okay? Round number 4, coming up with the wall push calf raise. We're breathing. We're pushing through. Loving this new workout routine. It's hard now. It'll feel hard probably for the next 2.5 weeks, and then your body will adapt, and it might actually feel too easy. So you might have to kind of bump the weight up or increase the exercise complexities, one of those different movements I showed you. That's it. Nice job. Okay. Right to the next leg. 10 more reps. The calf is actually a really important muscle to help stabilize that knee joint. If you have any knee pain issues or you feel any instability in those things, that calf joint or that calf muscle crosses that knee joint and it lends some extra stability and compression to it. So very important muscle, just like those hamstrings. Hey, guess what? Last round. You guys are crushing it. All right. About 10 seconds. Only 10 more pistol squats to the bench per leg. You got this. Awesome job. Here we go. Very nice. Got this, guys. Here we go. Finish strong with it. Finish strong with it. Here it is. About 5 more seconds so you can get those 10 reps. Very nice. Okay. One last time with that other leg. You got it. Here we go. Try to control on the way down. Remember, keep that belly button over that knee. You won't crash quite so much. Here we go. 10 seconds. Get a few more reps. That's it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time. Nice work. Okay. Done with those. Okay, the last and hardest version of the chin-ups or pull-ups is a pull-up, okay? So palms are facing away from you. It disadvantages those biceps a little bit more and really makes that back work harder. So this is going to be one of the harder ways to do a pull-up motion or a vertical pulling motion, okay? Still trying to get full range of motion. Trying to draw those shoulder blades into the middle of your back as you get up closer to the bar, not letting your shoulders hunch up and over. Trying to get about 10 reps. Great work. Strong backs are super, super important. And look, here we are. We are on the very last exercise, just 10 more reps each leg. All right, here we go. You guys are doing great. This is it, the home stretch. And go time. Here we go. That's it. Trying to get those 10. Really focus on that solid technique. Keeping that rear foot neutral. Pushing the big toe and ball of the foot. There it is. Belly button's drawn in. Driving the knee to the wall in front of you. Trying to pull the opposite toe up. So the knee is up, the toe is up. Get as tall as you can. Lengthen that line from the ear all the way through your down ankle. Man, we're almost there. About 5 more reps, 10 more seconds. Almost there. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and time. You did it. Whoo! A-Day. All right. Here's your bonus. This is a progression from all that work we put in last week, okay? This looks crazy. I get it, okay? It's the same amount of work. It's just broken up a little bit differently, okay? So you're going to go 20 rounds of 15 on, 15 off, okay? Alternating the high intensity and the low intensity. So you're kind of going high, low waves, all right? So remember, you're going to do whatever you want to. Running works, cycling works, jumping jack, jumping rope, whatever, okay? You don't have to completely stop. You can go fast and slow, then fast and slow, all right? But it's going to be just under 10 minutes of work, and it's going to kind of cause some different properties about how our body utilizes oxygen with the more up and down waves, okay? So you guys are ready for this. I know that you can crush it, really get after it, and let's see how this thing goes. Until B-Day, make sure that you guys are recovering. Remember, hydration is key, okay? Sleep is also key. And then making sure that you're getting plenty of solid, quality protein sources along with massive amounts of fruits and veggies, okay? So if you kind of follow those key points, you're going to recover quickly. You're going to bounce back, be able to give more of what you have in the tank for tomorrow, okay? So I will see you on B-Day, and we will get after it together. Great job today, folks.